I can't do this. I gotta go, man. I. It's not like a, you know, um, my streams and my content is here for, you know, the people who need it the most. That's why I don't, that's why I try my best to not go like crazy with everything, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm here to make people happy. I'm here to connect with people. And, I've done an excellent job of that in a lot of cases. In some cases, I've done too good of a job. But that's a lot of personal stuff, and it's hard for me to talk about because I've had to lose people in my life, not like death, but lose people who I considered to be part of my found family and people who I thought were going to be in my life for the rest of my life, and people who I've talked to who because the mistakes that I make are that I get in my head and I imagine the world to be, believe it or not, a better place. And I come up with these crazy ideas, these overly ambitious ideas where it doesn't matter how difficult, how ambitious, how insane it sounds, if for even a moment we can access a world that's a better place, that's what I want to do, right? That's where I want to be. It doesn't matter what I have to go through to get there because chances are you go through that, you actually get to that world that's a better place and you fucking die or you can't go back to the world that you came from, you know, in a metaphorical or a literal sense. Like if one of my partners moves here, right? And I get kicked out and we get kicked out, right? Because of that. And for a moment, like it's pure bliss, right? We're together. We get to actually hold one another, right? Experience physical reality in a higher form of sense, you know, not just text and words and gifs, right? Um, it's impossible. You know, and there's a lot of media out there that kind of touches on these things, kind of gets there, right? But it's not the same as your own individual story, and it's not the same as making that thing and doing that thing, right? You know, my streams are here because I fundamentally don't have anything else to do. This is it. This is all there is for me. This black screen, you know. If you've seen what my desk looks like, you know that that's it. That's my world right there, you know. So, between me and you, what you're seeing is everything that there is. And the only way for me to reach that supposed better world is to actually be open and vulnerable with people and send out the fishing rod, the reel, whatever. And my particular set of skills gets me to that point where I'm really fucking good. I'm really fucking good at a specific set of things, right? I'm fucking fantastic at a very, very small few things in my life, you know? And everything else is so ephemeral, so uncared for that there is nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost as if until I've reached that theoretical better world, there is no stopping, there is no trying a different route, there is no something else for me to like do, you know? And so even if I did put in the effort, the quote unquote did put in the effort, right? Had like a stream overlay and a consistent schedule, even though I have been streaming consistently now. Um, even if I was Eternus, even if I was all these supposed things that people have been telling me that I need to be all of my life, even if I followed every single thing to a fucking T, it really wouldn't impact my life at all. It wouldn't get me more viewers. Maybe it'd get me more viewers. I don't know. Right? It wouldn't pay my bills. It wouldn't make my disability go away. And most importantly is it wouldn't let me be the person that I want to be. And unfortunately, there's kind of two ways about it. Oh, fortunately, depending on who you ask. Because as I sit here and as I stream and as the time ticks on, I am neglecting everything else. People I love, myself, and the world around me. And that's a constant. And every time I go live, that's what happens. It's always happened. It's always how it's been. All right, being a streamer is not, you already probably know this, is that it's not really, you go live, you play video games, you get paid to play video games, and you engage with a chat full of 13-year-old grown ass man children. And that's it. That's all the job is. And whether or not you are successful is basically evaluated against a checklist. Like, do you have a good overlay? Do you have a consistent stream? And are you entertaining to watch? That's it. That's the winning formula right there. Anybody can be a streamer. All you have to do is find a game you like, go live, and be entertaining, and maybe have a good overlay, and you'll make money like that. It doesn't matter how such oversaturated the market is. You can break in really easily. All you got to do is have a platform, have engagement, and be entertaining. Most people already have most of that done. What? I'm trying to get some thoughts out, kitty cat. You need to relax. I used to upload and post a lot of think pieces online across Twitter and YouTube. Um, I used to be a lot more open and vulnerable online, and people very rarely ever took that as like the advantage that they could have, right? And nowadays, I relegate that to a very few specific people, and I actually don't talk at all, really. I don't talk at all to anyone. I don't socialize well, you know, and it's really complicated because I want to be somebody who brings people together. I like to imagine myself not in a position of power, but in a place where other people can create the lives that they want to see for themselves. And there have been times when that's been true. That's been the place that I was in. That's been where I've at. But as time goes on, I'm more and more estranged from those experiences and those lives and those places. And so when I open up and I say these things, I'm judging myself against that same list of conditions and whether or not what I'm saying actually means anything. And I still suck at this. I'm still horrible at this. You know, for all the time that I've spent studying behavior, researching language, and all that, I am remarkably terrible at it. You can put in all that effort and make no progress. You know, it's very, very easy to put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into something and realize that you are stuck at square fucking zero. That you have not made any progress at all. You've mulled over the basics and you're stuck in a rut and you've gone nowhere, right? And anyone who actually opens the book and reads what's inside and has experience in the field, I see this is where I'm like slipping off of it is because anyone who knows what they're talking about will be like, yeah, this guy's ridiculous. They don't know what they're talking about. And when it comes to bringing people together, you can probably guess that I'm still at square zero, you know. Still going over the same topics, still at one viewer. Not that I don't appreciate it. Of course. Of course, right? In fact, because it's just one person, that makes it easier to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Always been one viewer for the entirety of my streaming career. And then all of the other viewers are offline VOD watchers. That makes it easier for me, actually. Is because then I can just treat this like any other platform, knowing that, hey, somebody's out there listening, you know, whether it's live or over a VOD, right? And that's really why I do what I do, is because growing up and watching streamers like Vinny Vine Sauce, right? That was my inspiration. There's a guy in his fucking 30s making dick jokes, and Vinesauce Joel as well, right? And listening to the music that they make. I will never do things any other way than the way that I do them right now. Because historically speaking, the way I've been doing things right now is how I've always done things. It will never change for me because I love it the way it is. Because I know that when I'm done being live, I can not even really this, but I can go to somebody and I can, in a way, ask them for forgiveness, right? Not that I want to do any of this, right? But what if the person that I'm thinking of is the person that's watching this and listening to me talk, right? No matter how bullshit this is, right? And and the second I stop streaming, they're left by themselves with nothing else. And they have to somehow go from there, pick up the fucking pieces, you know. This is why I struggle to sleep every night. This is why I go to bed at like fucking 4 a.m. And this is why I stream Deadlock for 13 hours. Is because when you have to face that shit, that reality, of course nobody wants to fucking deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I would rather be live for the rest of my life than have to leave somebody isolated with their fucking thoughts, knowing the demons that can like manifest in somebody, right? Knowing the demons that I have in myself and the mistakes that I've made. Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody deserves to fucking go through that alone. You know? This is just the way I am. This is the love me or hate me. You can't say I'm not consistent. Because there's some people out there who I wish could hear these things from me and understand where I'm coming from with this kind of stuff. People who have left my life a long time ago. And even that's crazy to fucking say. Is that the pain that I have, the only reason why why I'm able to like be open about it is because it happened so long ago that I've grown around the grief and the sadness. It's not to say that it's not there, for sure, because it's definitely there. But, you know, man, this is why I don't really talk about this stuff. This is why I really don't engage with this kind of thinking, is because it never goes away. And before I go, man, I my dream this morning was in a place that is so fucking familiar to me. I can't really give you any details because it's not like a real place. Like there are elements of it that are real from real places that I've been in, but it's not a real place. It's not like an actual place you can go to, except for in the dreams themselves, right? And it's really complicated because I sometimes go back to that place and I'm reminded of the people that I used to love because they manifest in those areas. They show up again, and it hurts. It hurts like hell, man. It literally hurts like I'm in hell. And then I wake up and it's like, yeah, it was just a dream, man. Welcome back to the real world. And it's like, why are my dreams doing this to me? You know? What is the lesson I'm supposed to be learning here? And I don't always believe that there is a lesson. I don't always believe that there's something to be gleaned from the dreams, and that sometimes it's just your mind making shit up. But at the same time, I can't help but feel something. I can't help but both feel something and feel nothing at the same time. Because those dreams, they're imperceptible from reality for me. They're too vivid. And maybe it's my fault, right? For being kind of an insomniac and getting horrible sleep. But at the same time, I'm like I want to be in there. I want to see what I can learn. I want to know what it is that I'm missing out on, that I'm maybe just not paying enough attention to, you know? There's always that extra little piece that I'm just not aware of. Like it's looking back at me, and laughing and like, man, if only you knew. If only you knew. And then another thing is like, you know, there used to be people in my life who I would spend all night in a call with, all day and all night in a call with, right? People who I would literally just never leave alone through the internet. Because that's the fucking most beautiful thing you can do with the internet is literally just bother somebody all day and all night. Is just be with somebody all the time. And nowadays I'm not doing that, you know? I pay for the fucking bandwidth. I pay for the fucking internet. I might as well fucking use it for whatever the fuck I feel like, right? And the internet the ISP fucking agrees. Even they literally say that they don't care what the fuck we use the internet for. We just want to provide good fast internet, right? So in my mind, the fact that I'm not doing that is just like it's a waste, right? You know? I should just fucking stream the games that I play all the time and hang out with people all the time. But that's kind of where it falls apart is eventually it ends, man. You can choose when it ends and where it ends. You can't choose how it ends though. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you're having a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you, of course. Like always, hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you're having a good one. Hope you're not dealing with isolating, horrifying, demonic thoughts. Hope you're getting all the love that you deserve in the world. And I hope that you'll stick around when I show up next. Love y'all. Peace out. Have a good one, bro. See you later.